So there's a new kid on the block, and that's the Blink Slate. It's a new electric EV from Slate, and it promises to bring super small electric vehicles to the everyday American.
This is a slate. This slate seats 2 and can carry sheets of plywood. This slate seats 5 and can fit tons in the frunk. It's actually the same slate. Little screen, big screen, SUV kit, fastback kit, open air kit, one speaker, a bunch of speakers, big bumper, spare tire holder is the chameleon of trucks and SUVs. Seriously, just add the SUV.
Now, I have my doubts. We've seen things like this before with Canoe and Fisker, with these big promises of a cheap electric vehicle. So today we're going to dive into the Slate. We're going to go over all the details and things that we know so far and see if it's going to be a good replacement for your next vehicle in the future. So if you've watched this channel before, you'll know that I absolutely love cars that are cheap, reliable, and they're good for camping and outdoors, and also customizable. We focus mainly on Honda elements on this channel, but sometimes we talk about other cars too. So for $25,000, you essentially get a blank small electric truck, about the same size as the Ford Maverick, and I think that's the target audience that they're going for. Now, last year, Ford sold 130,000 of the Ford Maverick, and Slate is promising to sell that amount of trucks in the year 2027. That's a long ways away. And in that time, we're going to get things like the new Rivian R2. We're going to get the cheaper model of the Tesla. And then who knows, the Ford Maverick might convert to a full EV. And now the Slate's going to have to compete with the Ford Maverick. And I just don't see that ending well for Slates. But it has a lot of cool ideas, a lot of customizable things that we saw with the Canoe. So I'm very hopeful that something like this comes out to the market, because I think that's what the American market is needing, is just these small trucks, as we've seen with the Ford Maverick, and it's having excellent sales. It's small, so it's good for the city, it's good for taking out camping with just a few people, and it's customizable. So you can seat 2 people in the front. If you add the SUV kit, you can seat up to 5 people. The back seats are pretty small, so it's probably good for only like smaller adults or children, but it's cool. And it's meant for people who want like versatility and customization without like this huge price tag that you see with electric vehicles going for like $50,000 these days. So we are getting a promised range of 140 miles for the lower end battery and a range of 240 miles for the higher end battery. And I'll be curious to see if those statistics are true, especially once you start to load this thing up with gear on top, on the bottom, and all that stuff. So only time will tell when this thing comes to market. So my honest take is I wouldn't buy it. I simply wouldn't buy it. If I want something that's just simple, reliable, and cheap, I'm gonna stick to my Honda Element, and I'm gonna customize that, and I'm gonna save some money in the process of doing so. Also, just the idea of purchasing a new electric vehicle comes with so much risk, and we don't know if this company is going to survive. Maybe they survive for only a year or two and then they go bankrupt, and now you're stuck with the car that can't be fixed on by anybody. Like I said earlier in this video, I think with the Rivian R2 coming out and the potential of an electric Ford Maverick, this thing has a lot of tough competition. Do I think it's cool? Absolutely. I think it's totally cool. I think the design is cool. But one thing I think is ridiculous is the roll-up windows. Like, that is so ridiculous. And I get it. Like, they're trying to be like super minimal, but it's 2025. We've had power windows for God knows how long, at least since the 80s. I get it. Simplicity, roll-up windows, but come on, like, I'm not going to reach over and roll up the window like I did in my 1991 Nissan 240 SX. Times have changed. So I genuinely hope that Slate proves me wrong and that this thing comes to market. And I think the market does need something that's cheap, affordable, and electric. And who knows, the Slate could be it, but only time will tell. So I'm curious, for everyone watching this video, would you trade your current car for the electric Slate if it were to come to market at the promised $25,000 price range? Please let me know down below in the comments. What I want to do now is I want to go through the builder and see what we can do with the Slates. Check out the body style. So here we've got the truck, it looks like they have kind of like presets. Like, hey, if you want this version of the truck, you can get it. That looks so much like the Bronco. All right, let's go with the SUV. Let's go with the SUV, huh? Oh my gosh. This website is really crappy. So here we have the blank slate, and we're going to go through and customize it. So I've got the truck, I've got the SUV, and the fastback. And I'm going to go with the SUV version. And now here we can wrap it in any color that we choose, which is cool. The thing about the wrap, though, is that it's just not going to last. And eventually the wrap will peel off, and then you'll have to rewrap it. But maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. And they also have these kind of partial wraps. So you can wrap like just the cab, or you can wrap just the front, which is a pretty cool feature, I think. But yeah, that's kind of neat. Let's say we wrap just the hood. I think that looks good. Now you can add custom decals if you'd like. I think that's cool, especially if you're like running your own business or something. You can add a custom decal for your business. Let's see. And then the exterior, you've got a bunch of accessories that you can add to it. So it looks like you can add a bumper, a spare tire, looks like a front bumper. See, and I think this is where the problem happens, right? They promise this $25,000 SUV. And when you go and you start to accessorize it, it's like, okay, this is 300, this is 500, this is 100. And then all of a sudden, you're left with a $35,000 SUV or a $40,000 SUV. And I get it. That's like where Slate will probably make most of their margins on the sales of the vehicle. But it's a little deceptive, I think. So wheels and tires, I kind of like the look of the Steelies, to be honest. Lighting, add some exterior lighting for like off-roading and stuff. That's another thing. I'd be curious to see how off-road capable it's going to be. I don't think they mentioned anything about it being all-wheel drive or just rear-wheel drive, but I imagine there'll be both models of that. And then we have the totally customizable interior, which is really cool. So you can add in like a tablet screen. You can just use your phone screen. There's an app on the phone which can control the car essentially. So if you need to do any sort of like updates on the car, you can add in touchscreen buttons. I just think it's a good idea, but I think it's just a little silly. To be so minimalist at this point in 2025, you know what I mean? Custom dashboards up here. And I saw something a little silly. See, like they have this little slatelet, so something like a pin almost you can put into the car. And they have the roll-up window thing. They're so proud of their roll-up windows. Like, yeah, we're different. We have roll-up windows. Whatever. But like I said, I don't want to be a total hater on this thing. I think it looks really cool. I hope they succeed. I hope they prove me wrong. Only time will tell. We'll see. So thank you so much for watching today's video. Please be sure to like and subscribe down below, and then also support us by checking out our channel members. And there's videos for only channel members down below. So make sure you check that out, and we'll see you next time. Peace.